yeah, they not focus more on a game. Yeah, but for now, I changed team to professional team, right? And everyone like open up for learning everything. And yeah, ก็รู้สึกว่าเหมือนเป็นโอกาสที่ดีที่เหมือนกับได้ขยับเข้ามาเล่นในทีมที่ใหญ่ขึ้นเพราะว่าเหมือนกับว่าทุกคนมีประสบการณ์ที่เยอะแล้วก็มีวิธีการถ้าจากปีที่แล้วนะคะก็รู้สึกว่าปีที่แล้วเหมือนกับว่าทีมก็อาจจะยังไม่ได้มี potential มากเท่ากับทีมปีนี้นะแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าปีนี้เป็นเหมือนกับโอกาสครั้งใหญ่ที่ได้ขยับเข้ามาเล่นในกับเพลเยอร์ที่เหมือนกับว่ามีสกิลแล้วก็เก่งขึ้นไปกว่าเดิมอีกอะไรเงี้ยค่ะแล้วก็รู้สึกว่าดีใจที่เหมือนกับได้รับโอกาสเข้ามาร่วมกับทีมที่เป็นสังกัดใหญ่ๆแล้วก็ความรู้สึกก็รู้สึกว่าปีนี้มันค่อนข้างท้าทายกว่าแล้วก็เข้มข้นกว่าค่ะเพราะว่าทุกคนเหมือนกับโฟกัสแค่เหมือนหน้าที่ที่เราทำอะไรเงี้ยมันไม่ต้องแบ่งรับอะไรเยอะมากใช้ก็แค่แบบว่าพยายามได้ให้ออกมาดีที่สุดค่ะเท่านั้นประมาณนั้นก็ชอบตอนนี้ก็ชอบทีมตอนนี้มากกว่า Sometimes I cannot like speak Thai word like English and Thai word but in the past I can like speak Thai with Vicky or something yeah but for now I need to like think everything in English and that's really like funny for me I like it it's not affect a team play because in the past I also need to communicate with English also so it feel the same yeah I can understand like almost everything but it's hard if I just wanna focus on detail or something ก็พอเปลี่ยนมาเป็นไลน์อัพนี้นะคะก็รู้สึกว่าเหมือนกับเคมีในทีมมันก็ค่อนข้างเปลี่ยนเพราะว่าเหมือนกับเราได้ไอจีเข้ามาในทีมมันก็ทำให้เหมือนการทำงานในทีมมันก็สมูทมากขึ้นเพราะว่าเหมือนกับมีคนสามารถที่จะคอทั้งต้นเกมแล้วคอกลางเกมได้ก็ถือว่าเป็นการเปลี่ยนไลน์อัพที่ดีค่ะแล้วก็รู้สึกได้เลยว่ารอบนี้เราน่าจะได้แชมป์แน่นอนค่ะfor me I just expect I can go Berlin and win there maybe I just want to be good as like same as Paul Habi I think her very consistent and her like communicate well with the team yeah rival is like only like for me is like ourselves but if we wanna be win and we need to like beat AE yeah champion I think I'm foodie I just like want to go find new food like every day I like to exercise and sing also it's a Japanese song Mabataki幸せとは星が降る夜と眩しさが繰り返すようなものじゃないก็รู้สึกดีใจมากค่ะที่เหมือนกับได้ย้ายเข้ามาในแข่งเกมนี้แล้วก็ต้องเหมือนขอบคุณทางแบบว่าเกมเชนเจอร์เลยที่จัดทัวร์นาเมนต์ขึ้นมาแล้วแบบทำให้มันใหญ่ขึ้นเรื่อยๆทำให้เหมือนกับรู้สึกว่าแบบเราสามารถสร้างเงินกับการเล่นเกมได้จริงๆแล้วก็ทำงานได้จริงๆมันก็รู้สึกว่าแบบว่ามีอนาคตมากขึ้นจากแต่ก่อนที่เหมือนเล่นเกมอื่นมาแบบทัวร์ไม่ได้มีการสนับสนุนมากขนาดนี้แล้วที่สำคัญอย่างปีนี้ก็มีการแข่งขันกับเหมือนกับเวิลด์ทัวร์ของทีมหญิงเป็นครั้งแรกด้วยก็รู้สึกตื่นเต้นมากเลยแล้วคิดว่าจะทำทุกอย่างให้ได้ไปอยู่ที่นั้นให้ได้ค่ะขอบคุณค่ะ
wanna get it crunk in the club with a crunk in the club Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here. Know we getting hype. We wanna get it crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, crunk in the club, with a get it crunk with a couple hundred thugs. Everybody round, everybody round, everybody round, everybody round here.
Hey guys, I'm Xeaora and I'm from Team Orangutan. My name's Denise. And a little backstory about my IGN is that I transitioned from being called Master Fluffy, which was a name given by my brother. I'm not really sure how he got that, but I started using that. It was something I felt kind of embarrassed about whenever people would ask. I figured I'd change it, and so I was scrolling through Twitter one day and I saw a GIF. It was Team McQueen saying Kachao, and I was like, Kachao kind of sounds like a good IGN. So I started using that, and it's been 2 or 3 years since I've been known as Kachao. So it just stayed. I mean, I find it kind of cute. Peeps gets along with everyone in the team, and she really makes everyone feel comfortable, and she really tries to talk. She makes lots of jokes, mostly whenever someone mispronounces something. The peeps will just keep repeating what that person said. Me or Sway. Because Sway as the duelist, sometimes she can get very aggressive. And I was also the same before until I started playing Initiator, and Connor kept telling me, Kashao, you have utilities. I was every time I peek now, I've been just using all of my utilities beforehand. But then Sui, however, yeah, she really peeks a lot more than me. I came from Xeaora, I came from Meraki. Of course, now I'm an Orangutan this year, and I think a lot has changed and improved within that time. As before, I used to get tilted a lot. Whenever I tilt, I start becoming quiet. I've improved. I don't really get tilted anymore with my team or even myself. And there may be a time where I tilt, I wouldn't get quiet anymore, and I just keep doing what I can still. And I feel my mental improved a lot also. Orangutan, this org is really provided us with so many opportunities, flying us out to Singapore, paying for all of our accommodation and everything, buying our PCs, the ones that we use at our bootcamp. It's something that I've never experienced before, because I only really started off with Japeeps, and we were just a small team in CSGO. We'd only join online tournaments because that was around the time where COVID started. I don't really have any LAN experience, but I do know that I've always wanted to play in a room together with teammates, but we never really got the chance to do any of those, and we don't want to disappoint. I think Gunner is one of the best coach that I've had in my life. I'm sorry for all the previous ones. Gunner, I think is like the best for me because like we get along pretty well. Like he's also young. I think he's 22. He's single, by the way. So for our team, I think we're all really just expecting to win because we already put so much time and effort in like all of our practices. Like we'd spend around at least 6 hours. Ever since we qualified for Elite, we've all just really been giving it our all, and we all really wanna go to Berlin. Because of like non-stop practice, there are times where people would feel burnt out, like including myself. If they need a break, we can give it to them and we can play with a sub, or like we can play with Gunner also. I'm really expecting that I play my best in this tournament and that my mental will be a lot better than it was in overtime. You know how I was from Meraki and like MJ was like one of my like best of friends there, and I know she has like really godly aim, and I can consider her as my rival because she's someone like I really want to beat, and we used to do like 1v1s together, and I'll just keep it a secret on who usually wins. So I guess I'm really just excited to play against Capricious, diverse. There are 2 players from India, 2 players from the Philippines, 1 from Indonesia, and 1 from Singapore. There might be like some language barrier, but like everyone just gets along pretty well. On my spare time, I'd like to try to sneak in a book that I want to read, mostly about poetry. Sometimes I just really end up binge watching a lot of series and movies. If I have like the energy to, I'd try or attempt working out, but then that almost never happens.
The battle is on between WSF and Zol Meraki, so strong that our break was extra long. Welcome back to Valorant Game Changers APAC Elite. This is Stage 4. I'm Tashbunny alongside Jam, otherwise known as Donut. Can you change your name to Jam Donut though?
Yes, that is gonna be the case for the future. I'm gonna just drop the last name and go with Donut. So I would be now called Miss Donut.
Miss Donut. I love it. I love it. Perfect. All right, so now moving on, we're gonna go to the third map, and it feels like finally I get a chance to go and talk about a third map because now we are gonna be seeing these girls go to the El Clasico, and this map will be Icebox. And why do I say El Clasico? Well, mostly because for Icebox is a very interesting map where a lot of teams have so many different ways and strats of approaching this map, but one thing's for sure is you have to be aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to security, right, it could be just taken away by that aggression. Given the changes as well to the map, right, people have adapted to it and have chosen not to opt for the Sage. But the Sage pick is so much of an essential.
It's so good.
Just because you can just cover that part of a site and be comfortable in it. But with these 2 teams, right, we don't really say comfortable in front of them because my notes were just filled with Zol Meraki being able to take down W Streak in that second map. But W Streak said, no, Pearl is going to be our map pick, so we'll win it this time. But in terms of their win rates, both of them are actually very high in Icebox. And I'm not too sure about Zol Meraki though because it's a new look for the team. So far, we only have stats for Miha and as well as Capricious to play Icebox together with, as teammates.
I mean, when you look at W Streak, you can see so many different lineups and agents that they have used in terms of compositions on how they would like to approach this map compared to Zol Meraki, who previously only has 2. But it looks like for them, they prefer having them a double duelist sort of comp, and it's very, I would say, reminiscent of the aggression that we usually see at VCT APAC in general, the W gaming style. And because aggression is greatly rewarded on this map. However, if you look at other teams as well, like say team like Fancy DC United, who prefer a double controller sort of comp. It can work as well, but you're gonna expect a very slow gameplay as they kind of like slither their way into those cracks, nooks and crannies. Regardless though, as you said before, we talk about the Sage, and I think the Sage is so very essential. On defense, it's so great to buy time. You can also use her as a sort of like boost for your teammate or even yourself, where you can actually get those really off-angle shots, especially for operator, so that you don't get cleared out. So this is where the question goes. For Zol Meraki, are they still going to be playing that 2 lineups that they had and just go El Clasico, or do they have something new?
I mean, in terms of something new here, it's gonna be Camus. Then now Capricious can be that chamber yet again, and she did so well in the map of Pearl. So we expect all of those plays to come in yet again. But Camus is gonna be selecting the KO this time. I'm gonna go back to her roots again for as her original role for the team. But for the side of W Streak female, we're seeing Dolph yet again on that Raze and Noxy as that Sage and Cupcake. Of course, when it comes to control, we all know Cupcake. She's the icing on top. She's the cherry on top when it comes to that. So she's gonna take on the Viper.
This is interesting for Zol. Double initiator for them. And for the side of Zol, for WSF, it's a different look altogether. So for me personally, I like the fact that they still want that hard intel with the Sova, but also getting that initiator sort of way they can walk in with the KO as well. Now I can expect them to go very aggressive with this particular comp because it can really enable their duelists especially. But now for the other side, what are you expecting?
Well, I guess what Zol has to offer is just quicker thoughts, quicker thinking. But when it comes to WSF, they've won against Zol Meraki, so they just have to keep their mental. Speaking of mental,
does our casters have the mental capacity to handle this match? Map number 3 to see who goes on and who goes home. Sleepy and Xeaora, take it away.
To answer your question, yes we do. Sleepy and I had a quick nap there into the very long break, and we're gonna bring you all the action here at the VCT Game Changers APAC Series Elite, where we get to witness the game number 3 between WSF and Zol Meraki. Sleepy, what do you think of the agent comp?
Well, no duelist on Zol. This is an interesting take, of course. No matter how many times we've already seen this sort of approach to this map, I still think it's interesting because a duelist, as we've seen in the last map, no duelist is giving you more trouble than benefits. And that was felt by the side of W Streak female. And of course, this time it's Zol Meraki that's decided to not incorporate a duelist into their composition. Again, the problem will always be later on the attacking side, where they have to take more space, and so they will be struggling a little bit to take those sides. And it's again going to come down to the utilities. So it's going to be a question of how much they are willing to rely on their utilities, how well they've prepared to rely on their utilities, just like what we saw in the previous game when it comes to W Streak female. And W Streak female, they've decided to play with Fade instead of a Sova or a KO. So a Fade on Icebox, I wouldn't say is the best thing in the world, but of course they have been known to be very creative. We've seen Dolph on the race to be very effective as well. So I don't hate the lineup, but it's not exactly my favorite. So let's just see how this is gonna go.
Let's say like, yes, it is their own creative picks, but then again, we are, of course, for us, we're kind of expecting a more what they call solidified kind of compositions. And I do still think that the Sova is also quite reliable on this big of a map because of basically the utilities that a Sova has. But then again, this is how they roll, so let's see if they are going to rock it. But right now, we are seeing an attempt for the side of WSF here in towards B side with the best. Just trying to jiggle peek here in towards the top of kitchen. And right now, spots out, one uses the snake bites to lay a bit more of push. And they still are a bit of stable here unless they are spotted. You see one, get another, that's information. Mimi, however, takes down Kami Rosie for a kill of her own. not going to dwindle down. That's going to be a headshot, but then again, Rosie shuts her down. And one more. The spike has been planted. It's up to Capricious and our Sage Rosie over here. Then again, Rosie has to be quick on her feet. Spots the gun, but still did not take the headshot. Whips a bit, but still gets the job done. So now it's up to Dolph and the others. They do still have the man advantage. Beautiful wall, beautiful guarding. That's going to be a double peek. But then again, Dolph shuts it down. And onto the backside. Beautiful crossfire for WSF to take the first point.
Interesting that she let go of the spike defuse there. I thought she was just at least going to stick it to health and then maybe decide to fight. But it was a bit awkward because it was still a 4v2. Yes, they did get a kill after the wall was erected, but as soon as the wall was up, everybody from the side of WSF just converged onto the spike, and there was just pretty much no chance for the diffuser, and so the round goes to the side of WSF. And this is what the comfort is with having a duelist, right? You can have your duelist just go and don't care about whether she can take space or not, whether she can take kills or not. Just get in there. We'll handle the rest, right? And this is what we're going to see WSF do for the rest of the rounds. And I mean, so far, we've seen Dolph and how effective she is in that entry position. So I'm hoping to see Zol Meraki maybe try to deny that entry by playing a little bit more aggressive, not giving too much space in the start of the round. But if you're facing up against people like Noxie and Rosie the Fade this time around, that's a bit of a hard task. So again, they're going to have to let go of B-side. And with a 2v3 with only classics, I say only classics, but we've seen what these classics can do.
Indeed.
However, I don't think that's going to yield any favorable results for them. Maybe a kill or two.
Maybe, but
Maybe
again,
not.
this is still tricky because again, gun advantage already in the Vandal for the side of Dolph
Yeah.
and in this fight. So, but Capricious able to get headshot run down. Beautiful straight spray transfer from Dolph as well. Again, it's basically expected that they are going to win the second round. Of course, they've kind of earned it during the pistol one. But here on the third, I'm kind of expecting a little bit more change for Zol Meraki because right now I'm kind of seeing them being a bit of aggressive. Notice how Sleepy on towards A side. Noxie already takes one down in towards it. So it only means that there's this amount of overextension that we're witnessing over here. So maybe if they could just lay back a little bit, you know, let them go in towards the side, maybe a full-on retake could probably work for the likes of Zol Meraki. But then again, that's gonna depend on how they execute these defensive. But right now, Dolph, you saw that? You saw that Sleepy? She basically used the smoke as a temporary terrain to jiggle peek through it. Beautiful.
Beautiful combination with the Viper's Poison Cloud. Something to be expected, of course, Raze with the verticality that she brings into this map. This makes it a little harder for Zol Meraki to expect where these players are going to come from. And that was one example of what Dolph can do to gain advantage for her teammates. And now that they have a 5v4 advantage, they're just going to go straight at it. A side is going to be the target. Rosie, though, very nice defensive capabilities. The slow orb, the barrier orb, everything was put out. Did not receive a single drop of damage just yet, but her teammate has fallen. So A side is kind of open for the taking now.
Very much so, and looking at this, I feel like they do want more insurance policy, so Best very good with the flank over there towards mid. Efficient as well with the control of her Vandal. Spots out one, makes it another. The anticipation game for Capricious is very much strong here. I mean, notice, excuse me. Excuse me.
Are you okay, Wagyu lady?
No,
Did you choke on Wagyu?
No, I was about to sneeze, then it turned into a cough for some reason. I don't understand, but what I do understand is that Capricious's spray transfer was very much good to really close out this game. And as well as Rosie, again, you mentioned it earlier, being proactive in towards the A side, good for controlling.
Yeah. I do have to mention the missed wall from Noxie, the Sage. It was a bit awkward because then it put the pressure on WSF to push into the side where players from Zol Meraki have swarmed it and was in positions that was very comfortable to just accept and receive the WSF attacking players. So we don't want more of those walls. We want walls that can actually secure a spike plant. And if you struggle to put walls on A, maybe you can just choose to go B. This time around, it's still going to be an A hit. This time, Rosie is going to wall off the generator side while trying to defend her best and will be able to get one. At least there's a trade, so it's still a 4v4. Finally, Rosie will get it. The Nightfall is off, and they're going to detect at least one player towards ramps.
I love it how there's no hesitation in dishing out all of these utilities. That has worked well. Mimi getting Mia from above rafters right now. Spike has been planted, and it's only up to Best and Capricious to make things work, to isolate these fights and to work around with their double peaks. So look at these beautiful angles that WSF is doing right now. It's basically secured. They just have to be on, on patrol. But then again, Capricious takes one. It's gonna be another though. But from the behind, a little whip, Mimi still takes the shot. And then not expecting onto the left side, still was able to win out the fight. One bullet and the dream! But the headshot coming in from Zahk above Nest is all that it takes to secure this round.
It was such a dilemma, right? Do you reload or not? You only have one bullet. Do you trust yourself enough with that one bullet? Those are probably the questions that got to her head in that fraction of a second. And she decided to go with the reload. And of course, the timing was just not on her side. Best, good try, good shots, but Dolph will be able to take the initiative to secure another round for WSF. Tour de Forge is on now for Capricious, so that operator is going to be in play. This, of course, is going to depend on how well WSF is prepared to play against the operator. Now they're going to go ahead and just go for a mid-split from Orange. And yes, there is a Tour de Force, but she's not seeing anyone. And therefore, there has been no effect whatsoever from this Tour de Force.
So a little bit of a peek there. Capricious with the sliver of was able to take Noxy down and to equalize our board right here. But Spike has planted. Spike has been planted. There you go. Oh, looks away and Cupcake still gets the coal and Snake Spike as well has to use. However, Beth takes one, makes it another. Is it gonna be a triple for her? Takes her off guard, but still Cupcake takes three. Not going to dwindle down anymore. Mimi secures it from the above as the fourth round now. WSF is awake. Fully awake.
Fully awake.
Because it's already afternoon. Because I feel like our players works wonders during like the afternoon or nighttime, because honestly I ain't no morning person.
Now I can attest to that.
See?
I've coached some teams that will struggle for their lives in the morning.
In the morning, right?
They can never win a game in the morning, but play in the evening and you'll never beat them. And maybe these players are like that, especially WSF. Look at them now. They did lose a map at first, and they equalized now. It's a 1-1, and now on the third map, WSF, I mean, they've been comfortable on this map. Zol Meraki, as our panelists have mentioned, we haven't really seen them play on Icebox, so we don't really know what to expect from them. And so far, their classic lineup with a Sova and a KO, and with no duelist on the defense, theoretically speaking, they should have an easier time on defense. But there might be a point where you want to go aggressive as defense, right?
Yeah.
And without a duelist, it's kind of limited. The only real agent that can really do that is the Chamber. Maybe the KO can do it, but KO is better off playing a little bit more defensive with his utilities. So the options are limited for Zol. And now what they're really doing is just waiting for WSF to take on the sites and then go for the retake. And so far, it's not working out too well either. And maybe now they're finally going to take the initiative to go and take mid-control. But can they find Dolph?
Indeed. But right now, for the side of Meraki, knowing that they're defensive, I just had like a feeling that it could still work. Maybe if they don't really go on head to head or play for or just play for peaks, or let them let the kills go to you, as they say. Then again, because of that, The factor to consider as well is basically if they do win out their duels, and I don't think that that's working out so far for Zol Meraki. But if because the recon balls are like quite denied, information is basically scarce for the side of Zol Meraki. But right now we do see one, which is Dolph on the middle side press. So maybe that's a little bit of extra, but right now Capricious a little bit rattled here, still decides to go for the teleport, uses the rendezvous there just for some safety, but look at all of these, and still being shut down by Cupcake. Best, however, for the trade, for some equalizer there, but there's the revive coming in on the rest from Noxy to make it all the more advantageous for their side.
Oh no!
Oh, was blocked by the wall as well. She got bombed, unfortunately, but still getting Miha down. And it's all still up to this team because they still haven't planted this pipe, but Dom still gets one from the behind. Only with a spray transfer. Good enough, but then again, Mimi puts her down before the timer actually runs out.
Oh, that could have actually worked because of the timer, right?
Yeah,
if Rosie somehow survived after those 2 kills, then maybe it would have been different.
Yeah,
but
let's look at this.
Yeah, look at this. Cupcake gets a kill, revive, Showstopper finds one. The wall was kind of awkward. It's getting destroyed. Rosie gets 2. I don't know how many seconds left was there, but
I know it was like a bit 350 if I'm not mistaken.
So they had no time to.
Yeah, they had
right?
no time.
Oh
The only option
God.
was for Mimi for Mimi to kill off Rosie. But then again, the spray transfer from Rosie was exceptional. And speaking of Mimi, shuts down Capricious completely. Oh wow, that rhymes.
Nice, yes. Oh, Mimi, stop! They're already dead. Well, don't stop actually in the favor of WSF. Noxy will get another one. WSF not stopping anytime soon. They are just gonna go straight for that A split towards mid. And I love how Dolph is just so happy playing around with her sacks and awkward positions to deal with for the side of WSF. Look at this. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Please don't do this, Dolph!
Oh, no!
Okay,
please.
alright. They're gonna have to go kill her because she was actually looking for kills herself. So, Dolph.
Oh, Dolph, please,
nice
no.
try.
Yeah.
Bad intentions usually yield bad results. So, I don't want to jinx it. Just, be nice.
be kind, yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like our players just have their own friendly banters here and there, but you know what? But yeah, it's safer to kill the number down. Like,
I mean, there's a lot at stake right now, right?
Yeah, indeed.
Sure,
it's
you're on the
we're
lead.
talking about.
Yes, you're on the lead 6-1, but you can never be too safe when it comes to elimination matches.
Yeah, true, definitely. Ooh, this is just getting all the more intense. But for so far, Sleepy, I feel like this is slightly one-sided for the side of WSF. I feel like they have more composure in terms of the maps such as Icebox, because they do know when to place their utilities at hand, and they do know when to peek. The anticipation games, it's also very strong. But on the side, a little bit of a whip back there, not gonna work for Best, unfortunately. Like in Filipino, there's this game called Patintero, and like that. Basically, Best just got hit in that site. But right now, we are seeing WSF literally dominating the B site right now, and it's just too surreal. Like the reaction time, Zol's Meraki not really having the time of their lives at the moment.
Yeah. And this is not even the real hit, right? Dolph is just here to distract the last one.
Yeah!
And she's actually gonna just kill them all.
She's making it
I mean,
work.
why not, right? Be the distraction, sure. Get them kills as well? Why not? Okay.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, she's not dead yet. Mia is still alive. But it is a 1v4.
Mia
is gonna find the cross. Dolph, are you ready for this? Yes, she is! Oh my lord!
Dolph with the 4K again. You see, we can clearly. It's quite evident now that in terms of map awareness, I feel like the members or the girls of WSF does have it prepared. Not saying that Zol Meraki isn't. It just so happens that in terms of reaction time, they tend to be reactive here. So
yeah, I
they
mean
rattle.
the way Dolph was dodging the kill from Bess was also superior, right? It was like she was aware that there is a possibility there. It looked like she was going to get caught, but then the reaction time that she showed
Yes.
was perfect to dodge that kill. And Dolph is having the time of her life, 12-3 already. And, well, that gives her team a lot of good vibes, right? So everybody else is also feeling pretty good, I would say. Nobody's really feeling down. Nobody's getting caught. Everybody's just getting a kill of their own. So, all in all, I think this is such a good sign for WFT fans all over the world.
The interesting part here is that in the second game, everything was just so unpredictable. Like we can't even decipher because of all the rally that they've been doing. But right now, I feel like because of this game 3, it kind of boosted the morale all the more of WSF to really win it. Take note that this is the map pick of Zol Meraki, if I'm not mistaken, as I've seen earlier towards our games. But then the panelists have mentioned both of them are El Clasico, but still we have yet to see how they perform here. And I feel like Zol Meraki still have yet to work or to polish their retakes per se, because they don't really have that opportunity for those retakes because one of them is being taken down, so man advantage already not on their favor.
Yeah. You can actually just see plainly that Dolph is much more comfortable moving around the map with her satchels, with clearing the angles, the crosshair placement. It was all pretty smooth, to say the least. And on the side of Zol, I can't say much. Camille on the KO, not really finding the impact that she would hope for. And dude, how many times have we seen Dolph just satchel up onto top of tube and actually finding kills off of it? Right now, sure, she hasn't found one, but now she spotted an enemy, overextending a little bit, and therefore will get punished by the KO that I just mentioned. Haven't really found an impact. Now she got an impact right away, so all good. So
You jinxed it.
I jinxed it. 8-1 still. There is a chance for Zol to recover. Bez with that kill is superbly impressive. Noxie try and bring this back in favor of WSF. And eventually they do get 3. Are they aware of this position? On top of Raptors, yes, Noxie even available is the resurrection, and that would make it a 3v1.
Very, very. But that's one. To be another there. To get a 2.
3!
For Bess! With a 4K spray transfer, anticipating this res. Holy moly.
God.
Bess getting their second point now. This could be the start of something new or an ending of the start, or whichever goes may be.
Whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
if there's a moment that defines a comeback moment, I think that's it. That would have been the Kickstarter of this comeback journey for Zol Meraki. Not trying to jinx it, but hey, if you lose a 3v1, that's tilting. So that might have an effect on the side.
I agree. It has something to do with like mental as well. Like, why do we have to do that? Like, so much thoughts on their heads, and I feel like it's also a question for WSF to not let it get to them. And for Zol Meraki, their main objective here is to get that 4 points before the second half starts.
Yeah, and they do have the tools. They do have a resurrection. They do have a Viper Spit. They are playing aggressive. I love this. They're taking active control towards A. This is going to give so much info, and therefore there's already 3 players stacking and waiting towards B. This could be the round where they turn it back.
I mean, this is supposed to be Showstopper in the face. Not guess what the pressure for the trade. Cupcake, however, for the refrag. Now, you see from the above, Rose is playing over there. Cupcake from the long. Well, not anticipating Camille on towards the side. Camille takes with a 2 point on her own. And now it's up to Camille Audio to flashing in. Pop flash spots out.
Good
In
flash.
the corner. Good flash indeed. Very nice as well, because if she did not use that pop flash, that could have been a way for me to reposition herself.
I was hoping for a 1v3 into a 1v3, but
round in the half.
the flash was too good from Camille. And again, the impact that we needed to see from her started happening 2 rounds ago, the exact moment I said she's finding impact. And look at her now, just clutching left and right.
Rosie. The funny thing is, I do love the way that things are just being, how would I call it, traded for both sides of the team. Notice if one from Meraki takes 2, another takes 2 from WSF, so everything is just
You
going.
want to play? Let's play.
For both our teams, but then again, they will take one down, uses the rendezvous so quick, but then again, was able to get her job done. That's information, so they can basically rotate in a good manner here for the side of Meraki if they are able to position themselves well.
Unfortunate. Marked. Copy Cake will stay alive for now. It's unfortunate that they didn't wait for the Prowler, and that's given Capricious the opportunity to find a free kill. We know the tour de force, Mimi's tour de force is not as sharp as Capricious, but Miu is the one that's the star of the round today. Look at all the flashes she's throwing, always getting impact after impact, and this gives the momentum to her teammates as well, leaving only Cupcake in a 1v4 now. One, also very good kill on the second player, that's Miha. Of course it is a 1v2 now with a spike at hand, but only 20 HP. It's a tough ask.
It is very, but again, we've seen wonders for Cupcake here despite all the odds. But then again, Rosie was able to tap her down from Belt rather. And you know, it's too much of a task to say this for Cupcake because there's a lot of angles to cover or to consider over here. So, to say the least, they were able to get one objective done, and that's basically, you know, to get that 4 point.
Yeah, I mean, it's good recovery. It's not ideal. A 4-8 is still a 4-8. They wish they could have more rounds, but Meraki, though, again, going into attack, they don't have a duelist. So this is something that I'll always highlight. When you play with no duelist, you better have perfect utility management. So with that, let's see what our hosts have to say about that first half. Hosts, what do you think?
A very dominant situation there for WSF, showing exactly what they're made of on Icebox. Now, when you think about it, Icebox is definitely made more for the attacking side. As they go into defense, the question is, are they able to defend? Regardless, though, what do you think of the two teams' lineups and what exactly happened?
Well, in terms of Meraki, right, they have the double initiator, which gives them a lot of information. But I think at some point and during the first half, it was information overload for both of the teams. The first two to go down are always your initiators, and they have no support to give the rest of the team members for the retakes. But at least we have to really honor Bess. That was really the star power when it comes down to her clutch, right? And Bess in Filipino is actually a nickname for best friend, and probably she's celebrated by her friends, right? Right, bestie. Because of that, they won 3 rounds in a row. But I do have to agree with you that when it comes down to the attack, though, I'm not too sure how they will form themselves to try and be more aggressive as they should be, because we didn't really see that in the defense.
I think that for Meraki, they did try to go aggressive. We saw them come in toward mid-side, especially in the 7th and 8th round, but they were punished severely, getting picked off one by one. We see it happen as they pushed out from Tube as well as they pushed out from main. So the idea is, okay, I guess that since we're playing defensive, it's not working, let's play aggressive, let's try and establish mid control. But once they have established the mid control, the problem is how they positioned that smoke. So if you noticed how the Viper from WSF places smoke, it's not directly under Tube, it's a little bit to the front, which allows them access toward Tube. And I think that they probably got debated thinking that they're going to be pushing up from there, but that wasn't really the case, because Miha probably got a little bit too antsy since they're just waiting at spawn, gets picked up early. So now the problem is, maybe perhaps on defense, patience is key here.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes down to Dolph, though, everywhere she peeks, she gets the kill. And they have to be wary about that. Now that they have the initiators into play, I expect more of that information to be delivered and frags to be delivered as well for Meraki.
For now, we have to see what's gonna happen in the second half. W Streak or Zol, here we go.
Oh, here we go indeed. And of course, welcome back here, guys, to the main action, to the game between Zol Meraki and, of course, Winstreak Female. So this is basically the second half, the deciding half, Sleepy, to who gets the spot, to who gets to continue on our journey.
Yep. Tough ask for both teams. It comes down to this. 2 maps have gone, and now we're on the decider. 8-4. Pressure's probably building up on each player, and it's gonna come down to the decisions they're making in these half rounds. And oh, it's an interesting A split this time around. Are they ready for this? I don't think so, because there's only really one player towards that side. But the wall, that could be clutch.
The iron wall, actually not kind of, it blocked their way, but there goes the refrags through and through for both sides of the team to equalize our board. Now they're here in towards mid, getting that little pixel peek. Have to be very careful, Bess. You don't want to get down, but that's actually one down. Taking Mimi, that right click for Cupcake as the trade. Rosie, however, from the sides was able to ghost out Noxie. So it's still a 2v3 situation. Spotting out the one from above. Too many to see, but the Colat from Zol uses the paint shells. But then again, Capricious was able to take her down. And I feel like the paint shell also got bonked in towards Raptors. Yeah, that's why it didn't really work out for Dolph back there. But then again, nice pistol for the side of Zol Meraki.
Yeah, and I'm expecting this is what they're gonna do towards the rest of the rounds, because again, they don't have duelists, so they have to rely on their utility placements and usage and management. They have to rely on their trades, so they're gonna be sticking together a lot wherever they're going. They can't be too spread out if they want to have effective trades, and we're seeing that again here, of course, on the anti-eco. It's good practice to stick together and also wait for the utilities to fly out first before peeking, and that even then they still fall to a classic. Dude, what are these classics?
I mean, if S was able to do that from earlier, I'm pretty sure WSF won't go down without a fight as well. Enough, actually, for Rosie to go back. So we are now going in towards our retake position here for the side of WSF for its fight. Spamming out those, or spraying out those Spectre bullets. Got that one from above, but then from behind, get one, make it another. Cupcake for the trade. The Frenzy Madness at 3, make it 4. Best. In Filipino, best, kalma. But she's not. Kalma means calm, by the way. But she's not, as she is in the zone. She wants this for her team. She wants it for that tournament journey. And I feel like Sleepy, each of our teams are just really, hyped up.
I mean, look at Bess. Look at her Spectre skills with the run and gun, precise gunplay. Yes, Valorant, good game. It is a good game. I'm just saying, the Spectre is broken. But yeah, the broken Spectre wins the round. But now they're going to have to go to A again. And look at that. They're just sticking together. All 5 of them. Not even a single player trying to lurk towards mid. Because we saw what happened last time. And with that, 2 players are down. WSF, they're defending quite nicely. Not expecting Capricious, though. Therefore, it makes it a 4v3.
To be fair, Capricious has been staying above those pipes for quite some time, so they should be able to anticipate it from time to time. But right now, in terms of defending, Mimi and the gang are already doing good. And as I say it, because they anticipated that position, Mimi was able to put her down. And Noxie as well. Dolph with the cleanup here, not letting them get another point for the side of WSF. 6-9. Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Nice. Nice.
Well, this is the trend that we're gonna see. Okay, Zol Meraki, they're gonna stick together a lot. Maybe one player will go and lurk and separate herself from the group. For example, Capricious, which she did in previous round, but then got punished for it. So she decided to join her team to this round. But we're probably going to see her start lurking again soon. And on the side of WSF, they're probably going to go aggressive a lot. Like what we saw Dolph do. I mean, Dolph just went straight to mid to wrap around from behind, and she got a kill for free.
Indeed.
Just because she did just that. So we're probably going to see more of that. For now, though, they're just going to stick to the sides, A and B. Not going to go for too much control towards mid. They did try and detect a player using the Prowler. Not going to have any effect whatsoever for now because it's just a complete reset in terms of positions. So it's going to come down to where Zol is going to find the first contact and where they want to play. How they want to approach this round matters a lot. Do they want to just stick together like they did before? Or do they want to start spreading out? Spreading out, though, is kind of tough without the space-making capabilities of a duelist.
Indeed. So I feel like one of either of them, or basically the main role, which would be the duelist, has to really adjust to this composition. And we did mention this during Pearl as well, right? Because of the absence of the duelist, it's going to take some amount of time for them to actually take control of the site. And I feel like WSF can utilize that said time. So right now, lots of slow orbs across the board right here. Cupcake shutting down Tommy. So no whatsoever. Double peek in return for Zol's side right now. Nice wall as well. Enough to plant the spike. It's not open, so they can't go in towards pipes or or belts, depending on the Rosie with the deep decision. That's the Viper.
Oh no!
For the shutdown, Capricious as well with the double for herself. Bess is just popping up at this point as Miha cleans it up in towards Elsa.
Viper's Pet, the commitment. Oh, it's so real for Zol Meraki now. They're not playing around. They had the advantage in terms of players, but they said, whatever, we're just going to pop this and secure this round without any risks. And they're also hitting their shots. Good positioning by Capricious as well to form a very effective crossfire. Of course, this last kill is just beautifully anticipated by Miha. And WSF, they're going to have to time out now. To figure out how they defend this. This is a good call.
It is actually a good call, as you mentioned, Sleepy, because this is the perfect time for them to reassess. This is the perfect time for them to not just reset themselves, but I feel like because of that 3v1 that Bess has done from previously, I feel like that kind of ticked somebody off, or I'm not really sure, but of course anything can happen on the back ends, right? So I think it's time for them to really try to make things work, knowing that they're already on the defender side. Again, I mentioned this time and time again, as long as the spike is not planted, you have the luxury to wait. And maybe they could really play around that waiting time and their potential aggressiveness that they are basically demonstrating to us right now. So if they could mix and match those type of gameplays, I feel like it could work for WSF, but right now they're going to save for that money.
Saving for the...
What's with the three?
I'm agreeing with you. Saving for the future is very important, kids.
Yes,
do not neglect your savings.
Exactly.
It's very important to secure your future. Okay?
Don't feel like me.
Wait, okay. Wasn't going there, but if you say so.
I'm kidding.
WSF, no money in the bank. They do have some specters. No, not plural. Singular specter.
Singular, yeah. And one stinger.
One stinger. And a ghost. With a 1-bullet headhunter. I love the confidence. You know what? I need one headhunter ammo.
It's all I need.
It's all I need. I fall. I'm gonna open up this. Interestingly, it was the defenders who prompted the initiation. So, is this gonna be effective? Well, 5 players were detected. They are all low. So now the retake is happening.
Ooh, everything is getting all intense right now. Victress was able to take down one, but there's the trade from Mimi and Rosie, respectively, making it into a 3v2 situation. Bess can bait herself out here, knowing that she does have a Summer of Help. If she does that, that could be a vital information for Zol Meraki. But right now, getting a bit pinched pincered right here. Do you think that it dropped Miha for the kill? There's gonna be another one, no choice but to destroy it, but Capricious, not even letting her destroy the wall, takes her down. And now it's an 8-9 score. Imagine the huge gap from earlier, 8-4. Now it's an 8-9. So I think it's really safe to say that in terms of, you know, the comeback potentials of Zol Meraki is very much strong here.
Yeah, and the issue with a no duelist comp that we mentioned in the pregame is non-existent here because they found a way to compensate for that, and that is by sticking together like, you know, glue to paper. They're really inseparable, and they're just going together as 5. We did see Capricious try to separate herself before. It did work out. You know what? Don't do that anymore. Let's just stick as 5 and go on the side together. And it's been working flawlessly so far.
Indeed.
And WSF, they haven't really found a real solution to this. They do have ultimates now. They have the Showstopper, very impactful if it actually lands. So let's see if that's going to be an effect here. And Cupcake flashed but not killed. So I think there's a potential for her to find a kill instead, and there you go! 2 kills, while Zol still managed to find 2 kills of their own. The revive will make it into 4v3. The retake is on.
Indeed, much more favorable for the side of Meraki at the moment. They do play Valorant as a family, but Mimi and Rosie has come to shut them down. But Miha on to be long was able to take Rosie's life away in towards this fight. This is going to be the spike to be planted. Hunter's Fury not going to actually tag that one instead, but the defuse! The defuse was enough. It was half defused for after the Hunter's Fury, and then they just played tag.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great move by the side of WSF. It was a little slow on the Hunter's Fury trigger, so unfortunately it didn't really have any impact on the defuse. It canceled the defuse whatsoever. The half defuse was enough for Mimi to finish it off. And Miha, yes, did get a consolation kill towards the end. That's not what they're looking for. And again, Zol, they did manage to get onto the side as 5, but we've said this before. It's their closing capabilities that's in question, and they're gonna go forward again towards A this time. And I think WSF are gonna start to adapt to this. They're gonna start to rotate fast and look at the 2 players from B. They're just pushing and pushing to get ready for this instant retake once the spike is down. But the spike is now down, not planted. Still gonna get recovered. 4v4, 4v3 now. But Best still managing to be an anchor for Zol to stay alive in this round.
Not sure if they're watching their flanks at the moment, because right now 3v3 situation to even out the odds. Let's see how Capricious is going to react to this, but you only have the sword they're forced to work with here. Not your best weapon to fight it off from Camus. Isolate 1, make it another here to secure it to a 9th point, not letting the gap get any farther.
Yeah. At this point, WSF should realize what Zol is doing. They're just sticking S5. So I love that they're responding quickly by pushing out B like very fast as soon as they saw their presence towards A. But they needed to survive way longer than that for them to make room for Cupcake and Dolph to be able to get impact on the flank. If you die too early on the side, then your flankers will not have time to get impact from behind. And this time around, Zol is actually going to switch it up. They're not sticking together as 5. They're not executing right from the get-go. So this gives WSF a bit more room to overthink. And look at that. One singular person pushing, getting picked off, giving the player advantage already to the Zol Meraki side. So, and off of that kill, they're just going to stick together as 4. But they're actually going to get shut down by the pistols. Dolph with the frenzy, finding 2. Now the paint shell is going to push Bess away.
Oh,
Tag though, 28
gave
speed,
a
not
tag.
Yeah.
Miha with the 3, and I feel like you mentioned it earlier, right? When WSF should be able to realize that Zol Meraki is going all together. I feel like Zol Meraki also anticipated this, that because they have been doing this for quite the amount of rounds. I feel like it's more of a conditioning kind of play for Zol Meraki. Yeah, because they have accustomed themselves to go together. Maybe on this round they say, oh, why not let's just split together? Because the fact that we saw Mimi pushing in towards A, right, it only means that she expected for more members to come from there, because she could have rendezvoused out easily, but that's not what she was thinking. She didn't anticipate that Rosie from Meraki was in towards Belt.
Now they're just going and doing the same thing again. Just
Yeah.
stick as 5, go straight to B, null command, and just go into the side without any worry whatsoever. Already they found the opening kill. Now they're gonna get the spike back. It's another retake situation. Viper's Spit is wasted on A, so nothing is looking right for WSF. They might even consider saving this because they have an operator on team.
Yeah.
If they can't get a kill in the next like 5-10 seconds, they're not gonna go for it.
Indeed. I mean, I agree with you on that, because the way that the Viper's Fit is also expended on towards A side, that's actually a good call for me. And all the more advantageous for Meraki. But Miha is not stopping here. Get through. Okay, Rosie and Mimi with a trade of her own best. On towards the side, was able to shut down Mimi as well. That's a little bit jiggle peek right there, but they know Rosie going towards B long. It's only up the best, but Capricious says, nope, I got you. I got your back. And 11 to 10, just like that. Ooh,
wow, I'm so glad to see that Zol is making this no duelist comp work. It was just that one question. How are you going to take space? If you don't have a duelist, you better have good trades, you better have good utility, and they have all that, right?
Yeah,
and the
exactly.
way they're doing it is just sticking together as 5. It's ridiculous how it's working. This is basically matchmaking. You know what? Let's just rush B together as 5. Let's just rush A together as 5, and they're doing exactly that. They get the side control, they get the post plan secured. So far, a simple plan is actually an effective one for Zol Meraki.
Yes, I definitely. I mean, it's of course at first you are going to find it a little bit iffy, because why there's no duelist, why there's no entry, no one's making space for you. But then again, I feel like the compensation for this is either than them sticking together. It's the way that they use the utilities, and to counter off the utilities that WSF is using against them. So right now, again, another spike plan for the side of Zol Meraki with the shock dart once again, but timing as Cupcake puts down Miha. Kamio and Rosie from Kitchen was able to back her up. And this is not stopping though. Dolph and the gang 3v situation, but 2 of the members are already injured. Timing, Rosie was able to make things work. Up across the board, Rosie was able to spot out the ones in towards Snowpile. Out of game, make it 1, but Rosie was able to take 3, and unfortunately that snake bite wasn't really in the exact position of the spike, making it to a thrifty round. 11-11. Oh,
just as we
gosh.
said, they're doing so well.
We kinda jinxed
come
it
on.
back there, buddy.
What is this caster's curse? Stop saying
It's
anything.
an evidence.
Stop complimenting anyone.
What? It's better than that. I do not wish to say something not good about our team. They're all doing great. What do you mean?
Compliment everyone then. No jinxing then.
But unfortunately, that's not how jinxing works.
No, it's not. Okay, but that round specifically, I think, came down to separation. Zol Meraki, they got into the side, but they kind of went different ways. And Dolph will be able to dodge death for now. Not going to get a kill of her own as well. So it's still a 5v5. Not going to stick together as 5 this time around. They're going to trust best to watch that flank, or maybe even find the timing to flank. This question is, can they defend? Cupcake says yes.
Cupcake says yes, the Prowler as well is very much good intel, despite it being destroyed or not, because at least you have a big idea. That's gonna be the Prowler, that's 1, not gonna be another. Ruben takes 2, but then it gets Showstopper in the face as Dolph takes Rosie from Nest, and it's all at the best. And Miha tries to make things work. Viper's Spit is down once again. Spike hasn't been planted, as we do see it's already here in towards entry. So 1 goes above, 1 goes below. But Dolph already from the above, spotted out, gun sticking, as Noxy secures it for the team for the match point.
Oh my god. 1 round away. W's have.
Singing for a bit.
No. WSF secured match point. They do have ultimates to work with still. They did manage to use the showstopper to good results. And Noxie holding on onto that resurrection. That's going to play a part this game. Together with the Nightfall, 1 away from the Viper's Spit as well. They need to secure this orb somehow, some way. Are they going to go for it though? Cupcake. I think she's feeling the presence towards A. Not going to be brave enough to go for that orb. And
I mean, you would like it to be a more safe haven, right? You don't want to risk yourself being greeted by 3 people in towards A.
Not very nice, no.
Yeah.
And well, this presence towards A is actually good because it's pulling the rotation from WSF. At the same time, they're trying to take control towards yellow. There is a trap, however. The trademark will alert Mimi if there's ever any progression from Zol Meraki, and Mimi is now aware of it. Is she going to find the timing to get a kill?
Takes a quick peek right here, but Mimi still was able to take Rosie down, coming for the trade. That's going to be the ult once again. Planting the spike towards B site for 4. Is a little bit of a pressure on for Zol Meraki. And I like it how Miha's already watching flank this time, not being wanted to get from the behind. And notice how they're just positioning themselves. They're waiting for that defuse. They're waiting for that timing.
There's
but
Nightfall
then again, Nightfall also getting them. He's lots as well. And right now, VCT pushes for the trade, but there's going to be the revive. Hunter's Fury once again.
That's good.
That gets a lot of them. Goes back to the spike. Now there's flying. Dooming, right click, whipping, but still off, was able to take one down.
No time.
Remember, alive. No time anymore, just jiggle picking. It goes to an overtime here. Woo! Oh my, Sleepy, the second overtime of the day. And it's just match 1.
Just match 1. 2 overtimes. 2-1 scoreline imminent. What a game so far from these two teams. They do not want to escape from Game Changers Championship. They want to escape the lower brackets, especially this round 1. They do not want to be the first team to get eliminated. So WFS, they've been pretty impressive in holding on to this lead, but Zol was equally impressive in making use of this composition that I was questioning at the beginning of the game. But they did show us that they know how to utilize the utilities. They know how to stick together, make sure that there's no gaps left open for WSF to abuse. And this time they're going to switch back to defending, and defending should be an easier time for them, provided they are still working with the efficacy of their utilities. So now they're just going to spread around, just spotting B, spotting mid, while having 3 players at A. A is not the target so far. I think Dolph is going to be the key player here. Where is she going to go first?
Definitely. It's basically just about timing at this point, because in terms of skills and gameplay for both sides of the team, there's really no question. I think it's about outplaying each of the members that could make or break this game. And right now, look at that Boombot already in towards Tube over here, just to add a little bit of insurance. For the sides of WSF, they're quite taking their time here. So if they ever do choose a site, there won't be any more time to rotate, if ever.
More time to rotate, but now the delay is actually happening, but the execute is also coming, while at the same time the push towards mid is going on from Miha. So this could be a very good turnout for Zol Meraki with that first kill. Finally gonna get traded after 2 kills though. The damage has been done. The retake is already on. Capricious with another one. 3v2 after that trade. What is happening, Zia? Something is fishy here.
Definitely. Again, it's more of outplaying them, and I think in terms of positioning themselves, I feel like WSF had the upper hand. But however, on the other side, because they were able to quickly rotate fast for the side of Zol Meraki, they were able to capitalize on that set feat. And Rosie, from the blue win streak, she was able to go in, right? But then again, with the presence of Capricious, that's also information for the pack.
Yeah, and the fact that they didn't clear yellow too well is what cost them the round. It gave Best so much space to work with, so much time to carefully figure out when she should peek and she actually got 2 off of it. So that opened up the round so much for Zol Meraki to take the lead again here in overtime. And we've seen WSF just take the lead since the beginning of the game, and finally now the match point goes to the hands of Zol Meraki. Is this the end? That is the question that WSF is asking themselves right now while they take this tactical timeout. They're defending. They've had quite a good amount of success, but Zol Meraki, we've seen how effective they were on the attack, even though they don't have any duelists. So we're expecting to see that again here. We're expecting to see them stick together as 5 again and committing into a side. And it's been working so well, I don't think they should explore too much outside of that strategy.
Indeed, indeed.
And yeah, let's see that.
Like, in terms of, I mean, we've been mentioning this as well for the sides of Zol Meraki, right? They've been starting out slow, and then they kind of win some streak onto their sides, and then start off slow again. But because of this, simultaneous changes of pace, I feel like W win streak is also affected by it, because they can never know, like, are you guys playing it slowly? Are you guys playing it quickly? It kind of really depends. But for the side of win streak female, the fact that they too also have that versatility to rotate about the map, facilities, it's all good. And we are seeing it now a little bit late, but she's now being proactive into the map as well. Notice how she was on the east side, and then now came towards very much near their presence. But then there's the trade respectively for both sides of the chamber. Spike has been planted here, Sleepy, and the exciting part here is that retake positions, it's all up to W win streak, because if they do not make this work, you know what's at stake.
And the operator is what they're playing with in this retake. Not a good sign. There is a bit of a whiff though. Rosie looked like she was kind of lagging out, but thankfully her teammates are making it work best with the kill. Mimi and Noxie though will try and bring this back, only leaving Miha now, and Bass finding 2 kills simultaneously. Miha with 1 more kill to secure the game. With that snake bite, that will secure the game. Zol Meraki, they are moving forward in the lower brackets, and W Streak Female are out of Game Changers 2022. Wow, what a recovery from Zol Meraki, especially on that second. My goodness.
The good thing about this, Sleepy, is that you can never tell who could possibly win that, because for one, we do see WSF versus Sage could have killed Viper, but then again the snake bite was a bit off, but then just playing for time, that's actually one of the most amazing endings that you could have seen, because normally we'd see it's like one-sided or very much determined, but this specific round, you can't really tell, because everyone is trading off of their team. But you know what, congratulations to Zol Meraki, you guys are moving forward in towards our brackets, and of course GGWP as well to WSF. You guys did amazing, and you did not go down without a fight. Imagine 2 overtimes in just 1 match.
Dude, it shows that they are equally matched and they deserve to be here, but eventually we only have 1 slot for a winner, and that goes to the hands of Zol Meraki, because they've shown us that they are creative enough to come up with a no duelist comp and also make it work at the same time. So W Streak Female, no shame in losing this one, and congrats again to Zol Meraki. So hosts, what are your thoughts about this result? Congrats again to Zol Meraki.
Perhaps one of the longest matches we've seen so far at VCT Game Changers APAC Elite. I'm Tashbunny alongside Donut, and we're your panel for today. Now, when you look at the game just now, what's the most exciting is the fact that WSF started off very, very strong. And now with a plot twist, we end up with Zol Meraki as the winner. Let's talk about this.
Well, at first, right, Dolph, wherever she would be, she would take down 1 or 2 during the attack. And Zol Meraki, they had nothing to do. When it comes down to the aggression. But when the sides flipped, right, it was also initiated by, of course, none other than Bestie, because of her clutch, which really brought up that morale for Zol Meraki. And that was just really round after round, Zol Meraki getting their firm decisions on point, and that's the reason why they got the skill. And we're looking at the highlights, right?
This is the one.
Yes, is what we were talking about. The 3K from Bess just because she wanted to flank. She was at the right place at the right time, and Zol Meraki took it home.
I think what's really important to note is how exactly Zol Meraki played on attack. We were just talking about how dominating WSF was on attack, but we didn't expect how aggressive Zol Meraki can be, as though giving a taste of their own medicine to WSF themselves. Round 18 was particularly important, I have to say, where Zol Meraki's mid control was just absolutely phenomenal. Not just the mid control, but how fast they take the site, coming in from mid to kitchen, all the way to the backside of B. Yes, there are those, I would say, redemption moments from WSF where we do see perhaps Mimi going flank all the way in the backside, getting that backstab. But end of the day, it was just unfortunate Dolph was just rendered irrelevant toward the second half as opposed to the first. Regardless, coming into that, WSF Dolph is still our MVP for WSF with 26-17, and Bess will be the MVP for Zol. And honestly, are you surprised?
I am not surprised because even after that clutch, right, Bess came in, showing up when needed. When it comes down to the wire, even her utilities during the attack just gave them coverage. It was just really a safe passage on towards the site, and that's really the big difference, right? Dolph was able to take the space, but the safe passage is rolled out like a red carpet for the rest of the team members of Zol Meraki because they really just stood strong together. There were these rounds wherein they split, but only one would split out of them. And they made sure that they were stronger together even in the post-plans. The discipline has been seen during the second half. And I think they learned from their lesson from, of course, all of these rounds because it was a big lead. At least they finished strong with 8-4. But it was looking a little bit shaky when they had a 7-1 scoreline.
I think what's really important to note is the fact that how they decided to play attack is very important here. In the sight of how they play, I think that them being able to not only take a site fast but also play together, so many crossfires, is so important to note as well. As opposed to what we see from WSF, it's as though they are trying to play retakes, but the problem with retakes is that they have no clue where exactly each member can be. And one other thing that I really want to say is that when you look at Miha especially, she is cracked. She is just out there getting those getting those multi-frags, which is honestly so important for that mid-game recovery. Regardless though, let's have a chat with one of our players here to see what happened during the game. Still waiting for that interview to come on. There we go. And with us right now, who do we have?
It's Capricious here on the other line, and together with her is Cameo, actually. Hi, Capricious, can you hear me?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, there you guys are.
Yes, it's very soft though.
Hello? Okay. Hello, can you guys hear us?
Hello, yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to speak a little bit louder perhaps. Is that possible, guys?
Hello.
There we go, perfect. Okay, so I have so many questions for you guys, but I want to know, you played 2 overtimes and a match 3. Are you guys tired?
Are you tired? She's coughing. She's sick. Camille is sick. Are you tired, Mia?
Oh, she's sick? Camille is sick?
Yeah, she's sick.
So she got this sickness buff. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Alright, the sickness buff is there. So how are you guys feeling?
Though for Capricious specifically, because at least the first two ones were Capricious as the team MVP, but I do want to talk about the last map with Bess showing up so strong. Was that clutch really a morale booster for you guys during the first half?
Yeah, because we stopped, like, we got tilted and like we stopped talking for like in a few rounds. Then
oh no!
After Best clutch that round, we got our morale back.
So my question for you is that what was your? I mean, you did say that you guys were tilted, but in those situations, what exactly brings you guys back down to earth to think that you guys still have another chance?
Clutches. Probably
clutches.
Yeah.
Okay, so another question from me to you guys is that what happens when someone does a big clutch in your team? Are there high fives? Could you show us in the webcam?
Do we have? No, we didn't. Yeah, them.
So it's gonna be Cameo and me have fist bumping,
them.
but I think that was
Not
such
me.
a great morale booster. Even their booster is gonna be their own performance, right? And that just goes to show that they're very reliant on each other. I do have a last question though for the team, right? Because this is a new look. You have had a recent roster change. How has Cameo and how has Bess and even Rosie come in to really give you guys that support?
I think the new roster, like the roster we have now, is. I'm not saying. Right. I think it's better because individually, yeah, they're better, but the comms was better before from old roster. But yeah, I don't know. But I think we're better now than before.
Yeah, I think it's great to hear that you guys are doing so much better than before. There's a
Yeah.
lot of team synergies to work, but congratulations on moving forward, guys, for this lower bracket run. I wish you all the best and I wish you all the luck in the next few games that you are going to encounter. So good luck, guys, and thank you so much for joining this interview.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I lost Tash there for a little bit. I'm not too sure. But yeah, definitely, it's a big congratulations. I myself am very proud, of course, of Zol Meraki and how much of a great run and a tough mountain that they had to climb against W Streak for that best of three. But that's just our first match for today. My name is Donut, and Tashbunny will be joining me in a few. And when we will be back, Game 2 will be on your screen, so don't go away.
Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. Coming off the bench now. Waiting for this moment, swinging for the fence now. Coming off the bench now. Gotta get up, cause we about to get down. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. back again. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends. We back again. We back again. I'm bouncing up before they count to 10. We back again. We back again. Tell your mother, brother, sister, and your friends.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Valorant Game Changers APAC Elite. This is stage number 4. Game 1 was a heck of a long game, where not only did we get 2 overtimes and also went all the way to map 3. I'm Tashbunny alongside Donut, and now we are going to our second game of the day. Yes, second, guys.
Yeah, it's just the second, but it's gonna be an even more intense one because our second matchup is gonna be Bren Victress versus Rising Hope. And Bren Victress came in so strong during stage number 1 out of all of the opens, finishing out at top 2. But they were just taken down yesterday, and it was a surprising turn of events because X10S, they were so ready. They said, we're not gonna be the underdogs. You guys should actually create that storyline now. And Bren Victress, maybe because of that recent change, right, for their team, they might be finding their footing first, or they just really did not expect X10S to be really up there.
I think X10S has been really showing that dedication or that tenacity, but I'm sure that they learned a lot from that match yesterday. Regardless, let's have a closer look at both teams. Check this out. one another. Here we are. These teams have played with each other before. One team has a change in roster, and one team just changed organizations.
Well, we have to talk about Rising Hope, right? We touched on Bren Victress earlier on, but Rising Hope, with this new look and how they played out yesterday, the rounds were so close. It's just that Team SMG had a better footing. I don't know if it's just really all about the endurance that they had to offer as well, but now that they're going to be against Bren Victress and they know their opponents, they might have the best strategy now to be really more involved. And I would have to say, right, the new organization doesn't just offer that group, but also offers that new that new player for them, because before they had Lair as a player for CSGO and they have been reunited. So this reunion is something to look forward to.
I think that this reunion is going to give them a very different look onto how they play the game. If you remember, when they were under the previous organization, this team has been sticking together until now they are. So the power of friendship, well, being a bit dramatic here, the power of friendship as well as their synergy is definitely there. But two players that we want to have a look at is Aya and Twirly. Now, when you look at Aya, one thing that really sticks out for her is how flexible she can be. Either she can run the jet or run the sky. It shows that she's able to play in the front lines, and it really translates into her ACS when you think about it. Now, if you look at the side of Twirly, I think what's really important to know about Twirly is how aggressive she can be. So far throughout this tournament, she's been running Rays a lot, and she is one of the most aggressive Rays with the potential for multi-fragging.
Definitely, and we're seeing that head-to-head, right? A duelist versus a duelist. But I think in terms of the flexibility, we can also see Twirly sometimes embody that sentinel for the team, and we've seen her have a lot of success with these multi-kills. I remember a round wherein they were just playing Ascent, and KO, Alexi was playing the KO, right? The amount of assistance that Alexi was able to give with just a flash, and Twirly being able to take down 4, those were just those are something that we want to be reminiscent of coming into this series. But apart from that, of course, Rising Hope with a new look, right? Aya has always been a consistent duelist for the team, and we expect her to be just as aggressive like Twirly. But then, given this new look now, we have to see also that restraint from them, just to really get on a little bit of space to figure out how their opponents will be. And at the moment, right, the pick for Bind is such a staple for Rising Hope. We've seen them play this map so many times, and I guess this is really their favorite.
I mean, when you look at it on both ways, the fact that now Trix is in as a player and no longer their coach shows a very different dynamic that they have for the team. And when you look at Bind, we've seen them play so many times, and it's a very classic map from them. They're very, very aggressive on this map. They're very at home, and they have so many different ways of approaching defense and attack. Now, when you look at Bren Victress, they like to play this sort of big maps. Breeze is their, I would say, their not staple, but their pick here. Because when you look at it this way, for Bren Victress, what's really great about looking at them is how they play their Angels. They're absolutely cracked, and what's really important as well is just how they play in terms of taking up those big space. So going to Ascent as a decider, I think it's very fair for both teams, because it's a map that everyone knows and everyone has an idea on how exactly to take it, a different take for both teams.
I mean, when it comes to Rising Hope, the reason why they selected Bind is because of the mind games. As you mentioned, right, Trix with the leadership that she offers to the table doesn't just come with, of course, the mental, but also the strats. The experience that she already has, right, when it comes to FPS, plus Bind can give them that advantage, and Trix can offer so much to the table. And when it comes down to Ascent, right, it's the mix of the two. With how large the map can be, especially mid, that could be Bren Victress's territory. But when it comes to the sites, though, it could be Rising Hope's.
Yeah. Now, when you look at the two maps chosen, shows two different game styles or gameplays for each team. Rising Hope, they prefer smaller CQC sort of situations, as opposed to Bren, who likes long range. We've seen some really interesting, very cross-map, I would say, lineups from Bren Victress before, and I really think that because of how fast they can pass information to each other, allows them to play a sort of like tag team when it comes to a map as big as Breeze. Now coming on to Bind though, if you can see Rising Hope, a 71% win rate is not just a number. It really is a statement here, which really shows why exactly Bind is their home. But Bren Victress is not a team to be reckoned with as well, because with a 73% win rate for Bren Victress themselves really shows that both teams are very, very aware on how exactly to navigate this particular map. Now, if you look at both teams, for Bren Victress, they have a different array of lineups as opposed to Rising Hope. But for Rising Hope, they have one particular lineup that they like to use in particular is Killjoy, Omen, Raze, Sage, as well as the Sova. Now, I'm wondering if the Sova will be replaced by a Fade.
Yeah, I mean, before probably Rising Hope would be selecting that Sova, but Trix is gonna be embracing that Fade, right? Fades for both of these teams.
I'm so sorry to talk over you. I just want to say something.
Yeah, go ahead.
For Trix, this is her classic favorite. I used to talk to her a lot, and she's always ranting about that Fade Sky combo, and she's brought it into the game.
Yeah, and we're pretty excited to see that, right? Hannah, when it comes to these gameplays and in Bind, I think it was Quack who casted that, and she dodged a showstopper and she was able to get the kill. She can dodge a showstopper and be a showstopper herself when it comes to these clutches, and we expect that with that Fade and Sky duo for both of these teams. So Initiator on the side of Rising Hope, but comfort picks for Bren Victress. But really, the question is who... I didn't really catch who will start off on attack first or defense, because that will say a lot with the playstyle, because Bren Victress, they do love to be so aggressive on attack.
I think on attack is aggressive is also one thing, but defensive on defense aggression is also another thing in itself. It's very important to take up space, but for now, speculation aside, let's see who exactly will take Rising Hope's map pick. Will it be the team itself, or will it be Bren Victress? Let's bring it up to Sleepy as well as Xeaora.
All right. We are going on to match number 2 after quite a long match 1. Zaya, I have to say, it's been 4 hours.
It has been 4 hours.
So finally, now we're gonna see Rising Hope and Bren Victress. These two teams again are also gonna be fighting for their lives, and Bind has been the choice for Rising Hope. And I mean, I guess they have a bit of a confidence boost since watching Bren Victress yesterday, because Bren Victress, they got destroyed yesterday on Bind against Extend Sapphire with a scoreline of 13-4. So maybe seeing that, Rising Hope thought, you know what, we can do that. So why don't we go and do that? Let's pick Bind for ourselves, and they did. And the double fade. We also have a Jet versus Raze. This is a classic. I think it's been a while that we've seen Jet on Bind, so I'm actually curious to see how this is going to work out for them.
I mean, personally, I do used to talk to one of the members of our Victress as well, and of course, it's something that I'm pretty sure they do have that motivation to get back into, especially into the map of Bind. They do not wish to get destroyed by this map as well, regardless of whoever their opponent team is. So I feel like that's also one of the boost that they need right now, and it's up to them to basically prove that they can come back from that said loss. But right now, for Rising Hope, again, as our panelists have mentioned, Trix has been very much eyeing out this Fade Sky combination, and it's also just to see how these fruits of their labor would come to arise. But right now, it's already the start of our second match of the day, the first game between Bren Victress and Rising Hope. So a little bit of a jiggle peek here to start it off with Lexi in 2 wards long. Pretty sure you're going to see that gun soon enough. That's going to be the hunt, trying to start things off. Not going to detect anyone, but that's a quick wall coming in from Alexi as well to narrow down the options of Rising Hope.
Yeah, the wall immediately destroyed though. No entry. They're actually gonna execute towards a triple box now. Gonna have to find this chamber. Where is this chamber? Shiradzi will still stay alive outside of the brimstone smoke. Transition into U-Haul as well. The timing is unreal. But will they be able to survive this bench with 2 frenzies? flanking them as well. That's going to be an easy shutdown, an easy control towards U-Haul, leaving only 3 players for the retake.
Definitely, and of course, again, at least position-wise, I feel like they weren't able to really guard A as much as they anticipated. That's going to be one, not going to be another, though, as Ali goes for the trade. But then again, she is on a similar impel. Alexi with right-click on her classic towards the area. Ivory, though, with the safety net. But Alexi is doing so well with her classic at the moment. This is going to be the half defuse to gut it off. Hannah finishes this round in their hands.
2 HP. That could have gone either way, honestly. I understand what Alexi was trying to do. She was trying to go for the half defuse before going for the fight. And I guess there was enough time, but she just didn't land the shot. 2 HP. I mean, it could have gone her way. So, nice try. Good defense on this post plant, even though it was a bit bloody. Everybody was just trading left and right. I feel like it was a pretty good response from Bren Victress, but at the same time, Rising Hope, they knew exactly what they needed to do. They needed to take U-Haul control, and they've done it in a way that they pinched from both side and outside of U-Haul, and it was working perfectly. And now the timing is also working in favor of Bren Victress this time. Unfortunately, they don't have the weapons to work.
And their positions as well. Look how free B side was in for the taking for the side of R8 at the moment. And right now, we do see the plan situation coming at bay. Whirly was a bit of, advanced in towards our boot. That's why she's been taken down by Trick with the Bulldogs. But you know what? Gwen with the one, not going to be another, as there is the trades for both sides of the team. But then Aya coming into the scene outside the smoke. Hello, here I come, as she cleans it up for the crew.
Yeah. We haven't gotten to see the advantages of playing a Jet just yet, but I can already, I guess how well this agent is going to be, because people might forget how to play against a Jet, because a Jet, they have very good effective utilities in terms of escaping unfavorable situations. With that dash, Aya is going to have so much flexibility in terms of where she wants to position herself, in terms of how she wants to entry into the site. Spaces will be taken very easily as long as she has the support she needs. And of course, there will always be that 1 or even 2 initiators sticking with her. And let's see how they're going to take the showers.
And started off with the flash as well, but look at this with better weapons. This is bonus, take note, for the side of Rising Hope. And unfortunately, we do see members of Bren Victress really falling down. Alexia, however, from the flank, was able to spot out Aya, uses the slow orb. Not sure, I think she didn't see Tricks in towards that side, so she has to be very careful when peeking showers at the moment, because there's a crossfire that's happening on that. Look at that, see? Because she was unaware, she was taken down and Whirly for the trade. But then again, Hannah, very quick on her feet. She should be able to know, but Whirly can only take so much, as Ivory, being the stealth as she is from Lamps, was able to get the 3rd point.
I love the sequence. Flash into peek and dash out, getting 2 kills right from the get-go. The 5v3, even with lesser weapons, the player advantage was too much to handle for Bren Victress. Did manage to recover it a little bit, as Alexi was able to get a kill, but again, as you said, did not expect the second player towards showers. They were playing with 3 players on showers, right? So it was a bit unexpected. Although I have to say, at this point, if it's a 5v3 post-plant, you have to assume any position is available for the post-planters to fill. And so you have to be extra disciplined to clear all those little corners before actually going into the side. And they didn't manage to do that, so Bren Victress paid it with a round, and therefore now a 3-0 lead is on the board. 2 orbs away to 2 ultimates. Ali with 1 and Alexi with another. They don't have the guns to work with, though, this round. So they can't really do that much. But having said that, we know how Thrifty is going to work this game.
Yeah, it could. But then again, for the side of Bren Victress, if anything, if they need to win these rounds, it has to be now or at least on the next one, because normally we would expect onto a third round that the losing end would definitely get that up, since they do have those rifles to work with. But what I'm seeing, especially for the previous rounds that we have witnessed, is basically the positioning of Bren and Victress at the moment, because it's funny how we do see that A side is technically free for to take for the side of RH, knowing that that's also the pistol round. And of course as well with the B side, it was a similar thing, because we saw that the Victress was planning to go and try to take them from behind, but because no one is in towards that side for the taking, I feel like there was, you know, basically a lack of guards into these specific sites. So with that being said, I feel like they just need to tweak it up in terms of, you know, I think just gathering information would be, you know, most viable for the sides of Victress, knowing that they're also defender sides as well.
Yeah. Well, we are finally going to get back into the game. A bit of a technical pause there, not too long. So everybody's back, no worries. Now we're going to see Bren Victress fight it out with what they have. Which I can't say is much. Only stingers, judges, sheriff, and oh wait, she's down already? Oh, there you go.
Whoa.
Yeah. Again with the entry, will almost get a second one. Unfortunately for her, Alexi managed to sidestep into the teleporter with her life. And Twirly will have to do some magic here. Fortunately, she doesn't have any satchels.
Spike planted.
Indeed, this is getting a bit rough for the side of Victress at the moment, as Rising Hope was able to get the site for the taking once again, technically free, since I feel like that was a bit of an overextension for both Alexi and Ali's side and towards too long. But look at that, just across the floor, not even giving them time to react. Orbital strike was just a distraction, and the other members are just there to take them down.
See, the thing is, even though Gwen kind of quote-unquote wasted the orbital strike, they still have 3 ultimates to work with.
Yeah,
Granted,
exactly.
the Blade Storm isn't exactly a team fight utility or ultimate, but it's still an ultimate, and they still have Seekers and Nightfall, so executing into a side will not be that much of a problem. So things are looking so bright for Rising Hope, and Bren Victress, they know this. They want to stop this momentum, and this timeout should be able to help with that. And also, they need to discuss how they want to use these ultimates they also have, the Nightfall and the Resurrection, and also plan out how they want to counter these imminent executes from the side of Rising Hope. And so far, it's been pretty plain how Rising Hope are approaching this rounds, right? They're just executing into the side together, much like what we saw Zol Meraki did in the previous game on Icebox. It's just that Bren Victress, like you said, they're letting go of too much space, given easy access for Rising Hope to get into the side and get into the post-plant position. So responding to that, it takes some time. And of course, with a lesser weaponry, they didn't manage to get the kills they needed. And this time around, they do have the guns, they do have the ultimates. Hopefully, we're going to get to see a change from the side of Bren Victress.
I mean, it has to be, or else this could really snowball down for the Rising Hope. So this time, it's pretty good that they're not the ones, you know, really overextending this time around. And this could be, you know, one of the things that we get to see Aya go and enter for her team. But the good thing about this, though, because I feel like Rising Hope kind of anticipates, okay, they're going to go and push in a bit slowly. So maybe let's just, you know, give them the benefit of the doubt. So look at how they're not as aggressive as we've seen from the previous rounds, because they're waiting. They're waiting for those peaks to happen. They're waiting for them to dwindle down the members of Bren Victress, because that's the strategy that's working for Rising Hope at the moment. So look at them. Look at this. Like 40 seconds already on the clock. I'm pretty sure they're going to commit to A anyways at this point. That's going to be the Seekers out, as well as the Flash look, quick usage of all utilities and still managed to work out. Aya takes one, but Ali for the trade makes it a double in towards Labs. I feel like she whiffed it, to say the least. And then right now, Hannah with one, but there's the revive. Twirly did not make that revive in vain as she was able to take one down for herself. Spike has not been planted just yet as Gwen takes one. Zinni on 2 showers takes it. But then again, there is the shutdown from Zinni. Finally, Bren Victress getting their first point.
It was looking so good for Rising Hope. They were so effective in terms of finding that first kill. The distance closing ability from Aya was so effective to catch Twirly off guard. But Ali, being the anchor that she is, defended that position so well, allowing for the revive and making it into an equal situation. In fact, she killed more than what Rising Hope got in the first place, so the advantage went straight back into the Bren Victress side. Now, this should be what Bren Victress can hope for. You know, keeping control for that B-long area, hookah area. Maybe they want to go get deeper controls towards showers and A-short as well, so they don't get surprised in those executions that we saw. However, if you want to go for deeper control, you're also taking more risk. So let's see how they want to manage and balance those things together. For now, though, I think they're opting for just a passive, slow gameplay, not really trying to overextend, getting extra information that they really need. They only have one initiator, though, so getting information is not as easy as you would
bring them down. Definitely, and looking at this, you did mention some control into showers as well, just so that they can get surprised. But I feel like Rising Hope as well, because they saw that wall, I feel like they didn't need any more investment into that. But as we say it, Ali, however, was able to take down Ion before she could even take a good shot. So that's one good isolation for Ali as well, making it a double, concealing her identity as we do see tricks for the trade up, but it's all up to her and her alone. The Prowler's there, good enough to shield off Alexi. Getting now their second point here. Sleepy, I feel like, I don't want to jinx it, but I don't want to jinx it, okay? For all of the and anomalies over there, I don't want to jinx it, but I hope that Bren Victress, if ever they do continue this speed, playing it control and waiting for these peaks, I feel like they could even out the scores.
Yeah, I love it. I love how effective their crossfires have become. They're just chilling in their own positions, but also realizing that they can always help each other out if they needed to. And that's making it easy for them to hold on to those sites. Now it's down to Rising Hope and what they have in store. They have a Blade Storm, no real ultimates. I say real ultimates when I'm talking about ultimates that can really have an impact as a whole. You know, with the AoE damage or ability to prevent anyone from staying in a position. But also, at the same time, tricks. I would love to see that kill onto Alexi. However, Alexi will be able to stay alive and heal back up to 76. In the meantime, Trix is also going to get healed up from Hannah all the way up to 100. So eventually the trades was in favor of Trix, but still, position-wise, still very good for Shiradzi. But Shiradzi is down together with Alexi, and just like that, B-side is free for the team.
B-side is free, definitely, once more. And the flash, again, is very much detrimental for their entry here for the side of for Rising Hope. And it worked wonders. 3 already flashed in, but look at that. The triple peak made it work. And now it's a situation for both sides. Oh, actually, for these teams, Orbital Strike basically forced in free position right now, but Ivory takes one, make it another. Those positions not enough to really falter the team Rising Hope here. And Sleepy, the fact that they're able to bounce back up from that loss, Bren Victress has to really think of ways for them to shut them down as early as now.
Yeah, and Bren Victress, they need to realize how RH is playing. RH is playing with their utilities so much that they're always playing off of that Sky Flash. Just like what you saw in that elbow area, the flash was being turned unfortunately, it was a little too late when the flash popped, and therefore the flash would really blind all of them to Tilbo. So it didn't really get the impact they wanted, but still, those kinds of initiatives are what defines RH. So RH, if they can just keep this on while not losing the gunfights, obviously, they will be able to take free wins after free wins. And especially if they know about this flank. The flank is on, they are found, but now that's the cue for RH to go, go, go. Because if they stay right here, they're just going to get pinched like kebabs.
And I feel like that's going to happen because look, all of the information is being shown to them. Alexi with the one. Good time to double peek it, but no, Shirazi takes the other. And the flawless round for Bren Victress. Oh my. And I feel like we got, a little bit of a barbecue happening around here, you know?
Some good sandwiching.
Yeah, exactly.
But just keep in mind, guys.
That's just so interesting for Victress. Like they're very confident in flanking out in towards B site, and the good thing about it is also timing, because the moment that the likes of Trix was able to see them from mid, the smoke was already down from Zinni, and she only was able to spot out Ali. So that all the more paved the way for their stealth and the confidence. Like, wow.
They needed to do it.
Yeah, they need.
Again,
of course.
They can't give the space for RH to do what they like to do, which is execute and using utilities, just like the flash from Sky. And this very upfront position is very interesting. Are they going to get the kill off, though? Shirazi will be the first point of contact, and then the pressure is on Twirly.
Speaking of pressure here, Shirazi still was able to take kill of her own before that rendezvous. It was actually quite smooth, to be honest. And the information that she was able to gather too is so vital. And now this is also the reason why we see Ivory kind of left behind A, just to see if anyone tries an attempt to flank or a more viable rotate later on. Then you see here the haunt to be shut down. With the peak, but then Twirly goes for the shutdown. Pain shells as well do delay. All the more the pushes. Lexi from A site takes down Ivory, and all the more chances for Rising Hope to take the side is getting slimmer.
Yeah, slimmer chance by the second. Probably just gonna go for the save now. Only 15 seconds remaining. They were shut down quite nicely. We were talking about how
10 seconds left.
Whether it's going to work out for Shirazi and Twirly in that bait and switch position, which would be long, and it actually worked out pretty nicely. Shirazi with the operator shot, Twirly also being able to reposition with her satchel. And obviously, this is not looking good for RH. They had such a good lead, and now Bren Victress, they figured things out. They know they can't let Rising Hope get the spaces they've gotten in the first few rounds. And you saw this. Now, the way Bren Victress have been playing these past few rounds is they take so much space by being up front, by being so deep into the enemy territory, like that B-Long, for example. Right?
Yeah.
And this is making it a little awkward for RH, because now they can't get ready for those executes too easily. A bit of a failed wall. It's going to give time for them to reset, though. Is this going to be happening? Yes, it is! Easy kill from the bag. But Trix will get a trade.
Where was the time where Rising Hope watches their play? And still, despite that advantage, Ivory still loses that fight with Alexi.